to the fall edition of the 2014 Tiger Tail Webcast. My name is Dr. Shane Robbins, and I'm the Superintendent of the Northwestern Consolidated School District of Shelby County. It's my pleasure to speak with you today and share some of the good information about the things that are happening within our school district. And really there are two things that I really want to touch on this morning and share with you. The first being the recently approved school grades for the Northwestern Consolidated School District of Shelby County. And the second one is to update our community on where we are in terms of the renovation project that's taking place at the elementary school. Let's start out talking about school grades. A little history, and if many of you have watched my State of the Corporation address, I talk about our accountability system, but a little history about the A to F grading system in Indiana. The General Assembly passed Public Law 221 in 1999. The old system utilized the terms exemplary, commendable, academic progress, and academic probation. Starting in the 2010-2011 academic school year, the State Board of Education changed the labels for school categories based on student performance from the terms to what they believed were easier to understand labels, and that was A would equal exemplary, B would equal commendable, C would equal academic progress, D would equal academic watch, and F would equal academic probation. The new A to F labeling system was designed to improve transparency by hopefully allowing parents and community members to better recognize how well our schools in Indiana were doing. And if you look at the bottom of this slide, you'll see a link that will take you to the Indiana Department of Education webpage that discusses Indiana's accountability system as it currently exists. So the future of school accountability in Indiana, if many of you have read the newspapers over the last 24 months, you know it's been under fire a little bit. The Indiana State Board of Education approved the concept, or a new concept, on October 1st, 2014. I was fortunate to be one of 4 superintendents that was able to sit on the accountability system review panel and voice my opinions on how I thought revisions to the model would affect school districts. Specifically, I wanted to have a voice for the rural school district. Currently, the model's complete. The framework is not complete. There's still additional review and statistical analysis that will be currently ongoing to ensure schools aren't inadvertently penalized for the new model. Values for categorical status improvement and growth tables will constantly be under review as we shift. Not only do we shift from a new model in Indiana, but we are also changing and have shifted to new standards as well, which is going to require a revamped and a new assessment tool. So the state board has a lot of work in front of them based off the recommendations we made. The panel felt like by adding more benchmarks within the model, you could identify where schools were doing good work to try to move students in a term of what we call growth to proficiency, to get them ready as they leave our doors, which ultimately is the mission of all schools. So I'm excited about the model revisions, but unclear on how that's going to play out as the new test is implemented in this new school year. So growth and achievement, regardless of what test we're using, what model we're using, I try to share with our teachers that it's important to worry about the things you can control and not to become too worried about the things that you can't control. And the one thing we can control is how we focus our individual student needs in our district on a day-to-day basis. And our teachers do a really good job of focusing on student data in grades K through 12. We utilize Delayed Start Wednesdays for staff development. So it's an initiative that we began in our district a little over 2 years ago. It allows our staff to utilize the concept of targeted interventions. It gives them an opportunity to work in professional learning communities in an effort to improve staff performance. It also allows them to receive training that's necessary to assist them as we continue to leverage the use of technology in the classrooms. The other thing it does is it allows us to really celebrate successes. We'll work on those things that we don't feel we're being successful at, but we're going to definitely celebrate when we are successful to keep a positive environment within our district, because our kids deserve that. So, the natural question, and something I've been just itching to share with our community and our staff for the last 4 to 6 weeks is, how did we do? So the results for the 2013-14 school year that were just released are as such for our 3 buildings in the district. Let's start out with Triton Central Elementary School and looking at historically where their categorical placement has been. And you can see since 2009-10, the elementary school has been identified as academic progress or a B school for 4 consecutive years. And I know that's been a struggle for that staff because they work so hard at looking at data and really trying to move their building forward, that they were so close last year. I think when we broke down the numbers, we realized that they were, if you can split numbers this closely, they were 1.6 students from receiving the A exemplary rating. So for 2013-14, I am happy to announce that Triton Central Elementary School has achieved their goal of becoming an A exemplary school. So congratulations, TCES. Next, let's move on to Triton Central Middle School. And again, looking back historically how Triton Central Middle School has fared on the A to F accountability system. In 2009-10, they were A. 2010-11, they received a grade of B. 2011-12, they received a grade of C. And 2012-13, I thought they really put in a lot of extra effort, and they were identified as an A exemplary school. In 2013-14, very happy to announce they have maintained that A exemplary status. And again, another staff that has put a lot of hard work into trying to maintain that A exemplary status through the use of delayed start Wednesdays, their professional learning communities, and several different things that staff is doing down in that building to grow each student. Moving on to the high school, Triton Central High School in 2009 and 10 had really struggled and received the letter grade of F, and they've been on a constant climb ever since. In 2010-11, they were graded out as a D. In 2011-12, they received the letter grade of B. In 2012-13, they received the letter grade of A exemplary. So, again, very happy to report to our community that in 2013-14, once again, Triton Central High School is an A exemplary school. I would share with you that, again, that's based on, at least this past year, on a 4.0 scale, with which 4 equals an A, and they had received bonus points, and they actually were a 6.0 in one category, so 2 full grade levels above an actual 4.0. So good work to the high school staff. We appreciate your efforts. Moving on to the district as a whole. In 2009-10, the district received the letter grade of D. In 2010-11, we were identified as a C school. Again, in 2011 and 12, we were identified as a C school. We inched our way up a little bit in 2012 and 13. And then I am very excited to announce that in 2013-14, the Northwestern Consolidated School District of Shelby County as an A exemplary school is identified by the Indiana Department of Education. So once again, kudos to our students and staff for all the hard work to make this happen. So just in conclusion, the things that I think we are doing really well here as a school community is we are focusing on student data in an effort to improve our school grades. We're constantly reviewing the things that we're doing, trying to identify those things that are working and those things that aren't. We're a data-driven decision-making body. That's been one of my goals for our staff since the day I arrived. The other really important thing is we aren't going to rest on our laurels, and we understand that quality continuous improvement is necessary, and that ultimately the rigor of our academics, the relevance of what we're doing in the classroom, and the relationships that we have with our students and our community are what's going to drive us and allow us to maintain our exemplary status. I share with my administrative team that sometimes it's harder to stay on top of the mountain than it is to climb to get to the top of the mountain. So we'll obviously have our work cut out for us, but we're going to take a step back and we're going to enjoy and celebrate all the hard work that's taken place for us to achieve the A exemplary status in our district. So one other topic I do want to touch on, in the fall edition of the Tigertail Webcast is a renovation project that's taking place at the elementary school. Most of you know we've been in sort of what I call a pause-X, and that has been because we're waiting on our state plan to be released so that we can continue on with the renovation. The other thing that we're doing is we're rebidding out all the different things that are going to take place in this renovation project to ensure that we're stretching the tax dollar as far as we can, and we're going to get our fingers on the widest reach of that building as possible in this project. And just real quickly, just to overview, if you're not familiar with what it is we're doing, it's a $1.7 million facelift to the elementary. The largest focus of the project itself is energy efficiency of the building. That includes work on the boiler, the HVAC system, the lighting, the exterior windows, and basically the building envelope, just to make it a more efficient building in general. Additionally, we're going to try to do some interior work to the building, and we already have done some things that include providing an updated, cleaner looking environment for our students and our staff. Obviously, in a 21st century learning environment, being a one-to-one computing district, the classrooms have needed to be retrofitted to allow for appropriate use for the technology to ensure that it's working on a day in and day out basis. So we will take that into consideration as we're doing some of the interior facelifts as well. The key to this is we're not going to be able to address all the building's needs with this one project, but it does move us in a positive direction, and it allows us to modify our future CPF plans to ensure that we have an overall vision of what it is that needs to take place to maintain that building so it's usable, functional, and aesthetically pleasing to our patrons for years to come. I included a little layout of the building that's color-coded that will give you an idea of kind of where we'll be in the building and the process in which we'll work through to try to get this project to completion sometime, like I said, here in the next 16 months. And I guess just in closing, what I'd like to say is congratulations to the students and staff here at Triton Central, and extend a much needed thank you and my appreciation to our community for supporting us and what it is we're doing here. Again, in the last 30 months, we've been pretty aggressive in some of the things we've tried to do. Hopefully, you're able to drive by and visit the campus, and you're seeing some things that are moving, hopefully identifying that we're moving in a positive direction. Both from a facility standpoint, I believe our facilities look as good as they've ever looked, but also from an academic standpoint with the things that we're doing with our students. As your superintendent, I'm very proud of the hard work of our staff, and it just makes coming to work day in and day out a joy. And we won't rest on our laurels. We're going to continue moving forward and continuing making Triton Central, a first-class rural school district in the state of Indiana.